everyone. Welcome to a module on proofreading in journalism. I am Pragati Paul, Assistant Professor, Development Communication at Anwar Jamal Kidwai Mass Communication Research Center, Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi. The objectives of the module are to provide a detailed description of proofreading process, to highlight the difference between editing and proofreading, to enable the learners with the familiarity with the signs and symbols of proofreading, to provide developments in the print and digital tools for proofreading. The module will make you familiar with the concept of proofreading primarily in print journalism, but also provides details of new tools and procedures of proofreading in digital journalism. The lecture also highlights the various characteristics of proofreading and proofreader. The module will also provide an insight into the perspectives of proofreading in context to various methods and techniques. Let's begin with the introduction. The vital fragment of the writing process is proofreading, and it takes place at the end of the writing practice through the reformulating and editing stages of writing. It offers a planned method to understand the basic rules of perfect writing and is one of the most essential skills required in every writer. Any form of writing is not reflected to be operative until and unless it is free from all categories of grammar, spelling, errors, and typos. In order to remove such errors, to make the text more precise and well organized, proofreading is essential. Now, what is proofreading? It's another layer of proofreading. It's two more sets of eyes to see what we are doing, as quoted by Peter Candle. When it comes to the written word, quality control is very important. Since good journalism hinges on accuracy and clarity, proofreading is an imperative component of writing a good story. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, proofreading is defined as the reading of a text in proof in order to find and mark errors for correction. It implicates checking over the text in detail once the editing stage is completed. The objective of the proofreading is to detect errors, spellings, grammar, punctuation, and format. It refers to the mechanical editing tool which is used further to correct spellings, grammar, and punctuation. It is not enough to be the expert of the language in proofreading. One has to acquire the skills to be well versed in the stylebook of the publication, which includes journals, chapters, and magazines, to develop uniformity in the content. A person who works in media organizations must hold some knowledge of symbols which are used for correcting the errors in the document. The article and report written in newspaper office is known as copy, and when they are set in type, it is known as matter. And when it is composed together by hand or machine, it is known as galley. The comparing or detecting errors in the galley is known as proofreading. In journalism, reporters spend most of the time in the field to collect information from their diverse sources and transcribe stories in speed at the end of the day. It is the editorial desk that take care of transforming the content most suitably. Proofreading also deals with the usage of appropriate words that are culturally and politically suitable to the story. The Guardian newspaper explains their philosophy in prescribing the style guide by quoting Aristotle. Style, to be good, must be clear. Clearness is secured by using words that are current and ordinary. The basic purpose of proofreading is to maintain the language that everyone can understand, as well as the content is verified thoroughly to make sure it is free from errors. As the newspapers travel across the geographies, mass communication for public consumption cannot afford any mistake in the language and presentation style. The proofreader endures primary responsibility for identifying the errors introduced after the copy is transformed into galley. For example, the original text written here is, "There were some awards I won at camp. such as largest fish caught and best photographer. The revised text can be written as, at camp, I won such awards as largest fish caught and best photographer. Let's discuss the qualities of a proofreader. The proofreader should focus on the page and always work with a printed copy. Even if something is displayed on a web page, the material they check includes books, newspapers, magazines, website pages, academic journals, etc. The proofreader should be aware of homonyms. Homonyms are words that sound similar but have different spelling and meanings. For example, will you please pass the pair of socks lying near the vessels of pears on the desk? In this statement, pair and pair are two words that sound similar, but the meaning and spellings are different. The proofreader ensures the text matches the original, chapter heading matches the content page, photos and illustrations are correctly captioned, page heading and page numbers are correct, and the pages as a whole are logically arranged. The proofreader has to validate the material for any grammatical, spelling, or layout errors before the document gets published. This phrase can be either hyphenated or unhyphenated when used in this context, which means changing another word or phrase that follows it. Still, the unhyphenated form is more common, so the proofreader will follow that style throughout the document. They are standard style guides or style manuals, or sometimes they are also called house styles for print, electronic, and digital news media. The news organizations mostly establish their style guides to keep their unique way of telling the stories. For example, the Associated Press, AP, New York Times manuals, BBC, The Hindu, and other media organizations in India and internationally. The job of the proofreader is to be well versed with the style guide of the organization.